All right, you guys, I want you to get your sketchbook open. If you can't find your sketchbook, go ahead and just grab a piece of drawing paper anywhere you can find in the classroom. We are beginning our unit on how to draw a portrait or a face. The very first thing I like to teach my students is how to draw the proportions of the face. So nothing fancy here, this is really just notes. I printed out a picture of a random guy's face here to look at, to measure proportions with, so we can demonstrate this. It's also on your computer screen on the right. I would like you, as we measure along, to actually physically take your fingers and measure the different parts of the face with me so you get a feel for this. First thing we're going to do, just to get our notes started, go ahead and title your page Facial Proportions. These are the basic rules of how a face is structured. I can't spell here. Basic rules for how a face is proportioned. There are slight changes and differences. When you're drawing a photo, you look at the photo and you draw what you see. But this is to help you see better. In general, I'm going to start with just sort of very lightly. I like to start with the shape of the head. It's an oval. It's longer than it is wider. We will adjust that. So I didn't draw it really heavy and dark. Go ahead and draw your oval nice and light. Remember, as we're going along here, pause the video when you need a moment to catch up to me. Anytime, just stop and pause the video. Now, first thing we have to know about the face is the eyes. The eyes have it. They are the middle of the face. They're the most important thing about the face. When we look at anybody's head, my young artists tend to draw eyes up here on the face, really high. If you actually look at this guy, his eyes are right in the middle. Go ahead and measure that. If I measure from his chin to his eye line, it is the same as the eye line to about the top of his head. They're not sitting way up here. So let me erase my scribbles. I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that the middle of this face is about here. This is called the eye line. Go ahead and label that for yourself. We also have a line of symmetry with basically the middle of the face. I'm very lightly going to sketch that in just as a reference point. The nose, the center of the mouth will sit on this. Okay, next thing we need to know about the eye. The eye sits, we call this a measurement. The eye is one eye apart from the other eye. If I can measure with my pencil, or you can go ahead and touch it with your fingers, there is about one eye amount of space between his eyes. So when I draw this, one thing I like to do is start really lightly. I'm going to draw an eye shape. Now I'm going to make sure I make my next eye about the same size, so about here, and I'm going to draw in his actual eye. To make this look more like an eye, go ahead and just really quickly scribble in pupil, iris, maybe give him some eyelashes. Do the same thing over here. Measure, make sure it's about the same, and draw in another eye shape. Go ahead and pause the video right now, please, and draw your eyes. Make a note to yourself, a little arrow here. One eye apart. Go. Okay, you're back with me. We've drawn our eyes. They're about an eye apart. I would never keep this random eye in here, so I'm going to erase that. But we know that this is a measurement here to here. Next part of the face as we're working down is the nose. The bottom of the nose is not here. It's not the button of the nose, right? This round part. It's down here, the bridge of the nose. That's what we call the bottom of the nose. The bottom of the nose is, from the eye line to here, what we call an eye and a half. I'm going to measure his eye again with my fingers. Turn my measurement. That's one eye. Hold it there. And there's about another half of an eye to get to that point. So using my original measurement on my paper, from my eye line, I'm going to go one and another half. Puts me right there. So from my eye line to the bottom of the nose equals 1.5 eyes. Just do a quick scribble for a nose in here. We're just doing proportions. So bottom of the nose, sort of, you've got these sort of nose flaps there. Maybe you want to draw like the bridge of the nose, nothing perfect. Okay? Go ahead and pause the video and fill in your nose and make sure you make note of the measurement. From the bottom of the nose to what we call the lip line, where the two lips connect. You guessed it, it's an eye. So I'm going to measure the eye from the bottom. Oh, I said this wrong. Oh my gosh, back up. I forgot, it's not to the mouth line, it is to the bottom of the lips. This to this is an eye. I forgot my bad. I'll tell you why in a second. So from the bottom of my nose to the bottom of my mouth is another eye. I'm going to go back to my first measurement, measure down. That's the bottom of my mouth. So make a note, bottom of mouth is another eye, one eye. Okay? Now the lip line sits above the bottom of the mouth. So here's a lip line where the two lips connect, maybe draw in sort of the shape of the mouth. Like I said, when you need to stop, go ahead and stop the video. This is my lip line. Here's why this matters. From your eye line to your lip line, so his eye line to his lip line, is the same as your eye line to your hairline, more or less. His is a little bit larger. Some people have higher hairlines, some people have really low hairlines, but that's a really good reference point. Lip line, so where the lips come together, to your eye line is the same as the eye line to your hairline. Feel it on your own face. Take your hands and measure that on your own face and you'll be able to feel it. So from here, lip line to eye line is the same as eye line to hairline. I'm going to draw in his hair line right there. So I'm going to make a note of that. Hair line to eye line equals the eye line to the lip line. Please pause the video and make a note of that and double check it. Did you do it correctly? At this point, I'm actually going to start sketching a little bit of the hair in so I can start putting this face together. Kind of comes in over here. The top of the head is up here. We already drew that in, so I can sort of make that a little more solid. Let's look at a few more details. We need his eyebrows. Eyebrows sit on the socket, right? This is a hole in your skull, and the eyebrows sit up here to catch dirt before it gets in your eyes. So make a note of that. The eyebrows are usually wider than the eyeball itself. Scratching some eyebrows. From the corner of the eye to the edge of the face is also a measurement. Again, kids tend to draw this too wide. This should only be a half an eye. So if I'm measuring from here to here, that's a half an eye. Same thing on both sides of the face, not a full eye. So I kind of need to narrow in his face here a little bit. I'm going to make a measurement on my paper, half an eye. That puts it more or less here, is the edge of his face where his hair is coming down. So I'm going to draw that in. I'm going to finish off his head shape. I need ears. Ears don't stick straight out from the side of the head, right? They don't look like a big question mark. They're very narrow when you're looking at the front of the face. Again, these are a half an eye or sometimes even less. So using a half an eye measurement, I'm going to make sure my ears don't get any wider than that. The top of the ear lines up with the top of the eye. So top of my eye over here on my drawing. Top of the eye. So top of eye equals top of ear. Pause the video and write that. Bottom of the ear lines up with the bottom of the nose. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch over here to grab the bottom of the ear and finish his face. Same thing this way. I'm going to narrow that ear in a little bit. That's lined up there. And lastly, we need to double check. Top of the head to the eye line is the same as the eye line to the chin line. His chin should actually end in here. And we'll bring that up. Last thing I want you guys to notice, necks sitting here, they are wide. They support an entire head, a bowling ball on top of your shoulders. Your neck is almost as wide as the outside of your jaw. So go ahead and give me some lines coming down here. We never have a floating head, please. And there's your neckline. This is the basics of how you draw a face. Go ahead and watch the video again if you need to make sure you have a full page of notes that looks something like this.